I need to figure out how to do this.
I don't know if it's Bluetooth. There's also this.
This is not Bluetooth.
I don't
It's
know.
fine.
Has it got a cable?
No, I'm just gonna leave it here. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold
I'll
it.
just use the
Yeah. Oh, this is ideal. Yeah, I'm good.
hold it like you're holding a cock.
Mine? Sorry. Oh. Whoa. I promise it's a lot bigger than that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It is, I promise, man. All right. Anyways, I don't need to prove anything to you, Andy.
No, you don't. You're right.
All right, I'm not gonna fuck around with that.
You're just gonna.
I'm just gonna
you're
just gonna hold it.
Okay. So I suppose we're just gonna get started, right?
I think we should. We are. We're already recording.
We're recording.
I'm
We
at
haven't started.
720%. Sorry, 720p.
Yeah. So
You are
dial
too.
it,
Okay.
dial it clear enough on your screen.
Yeah, I think you look great.
Oh, thanks. Okay,
Oh
well,
man.
welcome back to the Value Proposition podcast. That's all I can say. If you've made it this far, then congratulations. Right?
Big congratulations to all the viewers.
Yes,
Do you want to do a
we,
recap of how like last week has been for us?
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You can
Just,
kick things off. You can
I'd
kick
love
things
to.
off.
I would
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
let's hear it.
Yeah, so let me just check the most recent figures. But it seemed to me that we had been trending towards over 150 views,
Yeah.
which is all my previous watched are the Champions League games. Did you watch any of the Champions League,
I
Andy?
did. I didn't. Oh, I had a dinner last night. I never finished till about 11 o'clock. Same
Okay,
again
well,
tonight, and same again until
but,
Sunday night, actually. So I've got a week
you're
full of
busy.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the games are different, because it's not at 8 o'clock here. It's three
Yeah.
o'clock, which is
Yeah.
such a big difference, by the way.
100%.
Yeah, so we're up to 149 views in 5 days,
Yeah.
which, honestly, we've got 15 subscribers, so thank you. Thank you to
We've
everybody
got to
who's
start.
participating.
We've got to
This is
start sooner.
unbelievable.
But
Um,
to be honest, I mean, to be totally honest, the feedback that I've had, or that we've had, individually and
yeah,
as a collective, from people I know, people you know, comments, has been really good. So it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear.
yeah,
I think that it's different because it's serious, but we were having a bit of fun as well. So I
100%.
think it's good, and we've got a lot in store over the next however many months, years, and like we touched on in the last podcast, it'll evolve, and that's the
Big
cool and
time.
fun thing about it. It'll evolve. Um,
Yeah.
so it's
Can
been
you
good.
can
I
you
think
tell me what the most was there like a frequently asked question or a frequently asked comment? I had a couple that was quite frequent, but
okay. You tell me, and then
okay. So I had a common discussion with people was all about crypto. People seem to gravitate towards that, I don't know why, but there was, and it was kind of 50-50. It was like, that's a load of shit, or, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that. I'd love to learn some more. So it was kind of a split down the middle. Can't blame the people for being a bit on the fence about it as well. Because
yeah,
as we discussed, it is different. It's not something that's, there's a ton of knowledge on yet. But I think that we
well,
shed some light on it, which was good.
so you're talking about the mix between the crypto and the real estate?
Correct. Just
Yeah.
for clarification. For
Yes,
clarification.
definitely. I think that's exciting, and I
Yeah.
think that I don't think enough people know about it because it's so new. So I think it's a fun
Yeah.
thing to talk about. It's a fun thing to dive into, and we will certainly talk about that in later episodes as well. Um, oh, are you still there?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Jeez, what's going on?
I was just fucking around on the click the wrong thing. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, as the viewers could probably tell, actually, why don't we kick things off by why the hell are we doing this remote and not in person?
Yeah. Oh, it's a great
So,
question. Do
I
you
mean,
want to
let's-
start?
No, and you, I mean,
Okay,
you're the
yeah,
one,
yeah.
it's because of you, right?
Sorry, that's fair. Yeah. So basically, due to the nature of the beast that we do, the real estate world, we do a lot of sales in Florida. That's kind of our bread and butter for the Alistair Brown International Real Estate Company. And so I've come over here. I've actually got some clients I'm meeting with starting tomorrow. And I'll have 3 or 4 clients come in over the next 10 days. So what I like to do a lot of the time is schedule those up with also when I can come back here to help facilitate the viewings, give them access to the units, whatever they're looking for, whatever they need. So that is why I'm 4,500 miles away from you right now, which is sad.
It's a bit of a pain in the ass when you start a
It is.
podcast and one of the hosts
Oh.
has to fuck off, right?
It's getting miserable. I'm so sorry.
But but no, it's good fun and it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
You've got stuff to do over there. You're going to do it. And
100%.
then I was actually just talking to your dad earlier as well. I think, how long are you there for?
Just about a month left.
Yeah,
a month.
I think I might come over.
Oh, is this
next
going
month.
to be our first truly international episode coming
Oh
up?
yeah. I think
Wow.
I'm going to
Stay
come over.
stay
for-
tuned.
So no, I think I'm going to take some time. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off in October. I think I'm going to
Cool.
come over.
I think you
and,
should.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. And we'll
We
maybe
could film
shoot
on
a
the
couple
beach or
episodes.
something,
Yeah, we'll shoot a couple episodes over in Florida.
Anyway, let's have a bit of fun.
I think it's
Let's
a
have
great
a bit
idea.
of fun because
do that.
it's been quite a fucking boring segment that was, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to edit the shit out of that.
I mean,
Okay, all
45 minutes, 45 minutes of bullshit.
The best time was when you went for a fucking piss. That was the most
Oh,
exciting.
thanks,
That part's fucking bad. Anyways, you can edit that out. Anyways, that's
Yeah,
just.
yeah, looks
Do you
like
want
it.
to bring up the? Do you have the slide in front?
I've got
of you? 'Cause
it
I do.
up here, yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so let's do it.
So, end of week debrief is the next thing that I've got. So, Callum, tell myself and these lovely viewers, if we've got any at the moment, was this Callum that did this work, or was this ChatGPT that made this slide? You've got previous.
I want to blame ChatGPT, but I actually did come up with that title.
Oh, okay. So, end
don't
of
be
week
too
debrief.
harsh.
So,
I thought that
In
would
the
be a
notes
nice
here.
segment,
Yeah, I
just
think
sort
that's
of
good.
like little recap of, have you noticed any trends going on in the world on your side of the pond?
So, one big thing that happened,
Let's hear it.
Trump nearly got shot again.
I know.
Wow.
I think honestly, this is going to polarizing statement. I genuinely think he might actually get killed before the election.
I mean, he's one lucky guy, right? Who?
I mean, who the fuck gets shot at twice and survives both times?
it just doesn't. It doesn't happen, right? It doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, it was all over the news, obviously, and still is. And it's on every possible outlet you can imagine.
Yeah.
I was watching the stocks, so there's a show called Squawk Box over here. I don't even know if you have this. Like MSNBC, they run through the ticker tapes and all that. And they had a whole segment on it. They were like, "Oh my God, look what happened." I'm like, "What did you expect?" I don't know.
I spoke to some people in Scotland about it, like some people that not at work, like away from work, people who aren't connected to America at all, and everyone thinks it's a setup. Yeah, it's like,
I mean, yeah, I can totally see that. To be fair,
yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, our political landscape over here is a bit of a mess. So
It is. So, anything else? What else has been happening? What's been happening in the life of Callum?
wow, not that much really. It's been a lot of work. It's a lot of waking up early. Because the thing is, 5 hours behind. I'm playing catch up, so I'm up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 latest, so that I can get you guys at 11.
Yeah, and how's the
trying-
jet lag been?
It's been okay.
Okay.
Coming back over here is never as bad as going over. The sleeping is, but that's typically because I've had like 5 gin and tonics and 2 Benadryl.
Well,
But
there we go. There we go.
that's an insight. That's also not a travel tip, by the way. Don't fucking
definitely
do that.
don't do that. So we've got another little segment here.
Yes, we do.
This is quite fun. This is
I thought it
quite
was
fun.
good.
So your business fact of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to ask,
Yeah.
or do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Because I want to ask you the questions.
Ask me the question.
You know,
Go
okay,
on,
'cause
fire up. I mean,
okay.
I don't want to end up
hold
like
on,
Trump.
hold on.
I don't want to end up like Trump, but fire away.
You're not close enough.
No.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to operate this. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I don't know if you did know this, but Elon Musk is projected to become the first trillionaire by 2027.
The first trillionaire by 2027.
Trillionaire. So, what do you think about that first, just generally?
I mean, I think that it's bananas. I just think that it's unbelievable, right? I mean, could you imagine? I mean, think how much a billion is. Could you imagine it? And I mean, I've watched interviews with him before, and he's like, you know, they say that my net worth is whatever it is. What is it, like 360 billion just now, or something like that? He's like, people think that I've got that amount of money sitting in the bank. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
In reality, he's probably got fuck all.
It's in stock. He owns it in stock.
Yeah.
He owns the company, and his net worth is projected by the stock he owns in the company.
Exactly.
And that's how it works.
And
so
that's what's a little bit misleading about net worths.
of course.
That you know, especially because you know you always like to Google famous celebrities. How much is Dwayne the Rock Johnson worth? And it's like 14 million. You're like, what the fuck? He's worth like 600 million probably. He's got a tequila company. He's got all this other stuff going. It's hard to say exactly how much someone's worth.
Well, and especially so, you've written on here as well. Do you believe he is truly the wealthiest man on the planet? My answer to that question is definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, you've got guys like Putin that own countries.
Yep.
Or just about own countries.
Yeah.
On top of that, you've got all these folks in the Middle East who, operate under 15, 20 different names. They've got so many different names, and they've got different companies under different names. It's impossible to get a read on their net worth. So do I think he's the richest man actually in the world? No, I don't. I think he is severely impressive. I've done a lot of research on him. I've read some of his book. I think that he's super impressive. I mean, he is. I mean, you can watch him during interviews. You can actually tell when he's speaking to somebody. He has to think about what he says, because if he speaks his mind, nobody's going to understand what the fuck he's talking about.
He might as well be
They really
speaking
won't.
a foreign alien language.
Yeah, well, here's a question for you.
Oh.
Is he an alien? Have you seen
Are
that?
we about to
though?
start talking about fucking lizard people right now? Fucking reptilians that live on Earth? This is a conspiracy podcast now.
So, anyway, what's your thoughts on the big man?
Yeah, I mean, he's such an interesting character. I don't really remember how he kind of came to the scene.
PayPal. He started PayPal.
I think I was too young to really know what that was.
Yeah, well, he started PayPal. He sold PayPal for like 89 million. The 89 million that he sold PayPal for, he started 2 companies, SpaceX, Tesla.
Yeah. I find, I don't
Something
think I've
like
done
that.
this.
Something like that.
Yeah. He's a really interesting character, and he's come out with some really interesting ideas and thoughts. And I definitely like people who think a little bit differently to the norm. So I like what he says. I think that he's also got this kind of a political stance now in the world as well. I'm not sure that really suits him, to be honest. But it's okay. Yeah. So, you go.
I totally butchered those facts. He sold PayPal for 1.5 billion, so just a little bit off of the 89 million that I said he sold it for. Hey, Callum, at least I knew that he sold it. He sold PayPal, right?
Oh, I mean that's
So the same
Oh my
year,
God.
Elon Musk. So in October
Right.
2002, eBay acquired PayPal for 1.5 billion.
Okay, so a little bit more money than you thought.
And this is where I'm getting that figure from. So using 100 million of the money he made from the sale of PayPal, Musk founded SpaceX. That was
Have
in
you ever seen
2002.
I guess you wouldn't have seen a SpaceX launch, but I have.
Wow.
Super cool.
One thing that I think's funny or pretty crazy actually is if you look at some of these wealthiest men on the planet, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, why are they all trying to get off the Earth? They're all trying to get up to space.
I think they want to go home
But isn't that
because that's where they're fucking from.
isn't that crazy though? I mean, why?
I mean, it is.
Why?
Well, I don't know what the fascination is. It's not like, I mean, what are we going to do up there? You know, I know that they've spoken about this at length of like, oh, we need to, keep the human species alive. No, we don't.
I mean, but one thing that I don't get
cares?
is why are all these wealthy people? Why do they want to be up? I mean, I would much rather be safe on the Earth with my feet on the ground. I mean, you get these billionaires that want to go up and see. They want to go up and see Earth from space. They want to go. I mean, think of this. This submarine that what was it called? The submarine that imploded, trying to go and see the Titanic. I mean, why?
Man.
Why
That
risk
was
that?
a disaster.
Ocean, what was it called? Ocean. I can't remember. But what I mean,
Ocean,
why?
it wasn't
risk
Ocean
that?
Gate, was it? No, it wasn't.
Ocean Gate, that was it. Yeah.
Was it Ocean
I mean,
Gate? Okay.
these people are some of the smartest people in the world. They're multi-billionaires, and they want to go and risk their lives.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
just because they've got nothing else to do. I mean, what else are they going to do? I mean, Amazon. I mean, look at Blue Origin. I think is
Yeah,
Bezos'.
it's Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
And he's got all these companies. I mean, he's got. I don't remember exactly how many sub companies of Amazon there are, or sort of like sub sectors of it.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them make fucking no money, but they just do things. They just try things, and maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's just let's just explore. Let's just be pioneers and say, I went to fucking space and you can too. For $500,000.
Yeah, it's.
Would you rather buy a house or would you rather go to space?
I've got no interest in space, and I've got no interest in the Titanic. Not for me. Not for me. I don't even come. I don't even like being in the sea. Like, I'm happy on dry land.
Okay,
I'm happy on dry land. I don't want to be in the ocean. I don't want to be in the sea. I don't want to be in the sky. Yeah, okay, I'll fly to another country. But why the hell would I want to be in space? I mean, what is there to do in space? I saw an article about a company making a restaurant for space. I mean, why would you want to do that?
Was it Nando's?
Well, maybe now you're talking.
I might fucking think about it now.
Yeah, but I mean, something I don't get. Something I don't get. Anyway, we may be getting carried away. Maybe we're not, and maybe we're onto something. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe we should talk to the CEO of Nando's. I have no idea.
But I actually saw that. I did see that. That's something that somebody's trying to do. Is have a restaurant in space.
Did you see? I'm going down a little rabbit hole here, but
Here we go.
have you seen how they had to design mugs for space for liquids?
No. You're fucking weird. You know that. Go on, tell me.
Wow. It's really hard to show you, and it's also really hard to describe because it looks highly inappropriate.
Oh yeah.
But it's.
Why don't you give
like,
us? Why don't you give us? Give us.
It's got like a. It's like a flower. It's kind of like a flower, and you sip it like from the very tip of it, and but the reason that they designed it was because water sticks to things in space. So, if you put water, like if you dunk your head in a bowl of water, the water would then stick to your face. So you can actually drown yourself, I guess, really, is what I'm saying. But they had to design the vessel so that it would gravitate and stick to the side of the glass so that when you... Yeah. Anyways, what the fuck am I talking about? This is fucking so stupid. Holy fuck.
Somehow, we've gone, speaking about Elon Musk, to how they invented mugs in space. But anyway, I've not got any interest. I've not got any interest in going up to space. Do you?
No, not really. I mean, I did when I was younger. I would constantly think about going to space, and then just what I really wanted to do when I was young. And this will be a real like psych eval on young Callum. I thought it would be a really good idea to get up in a space pod and just shoot myself off into space and never come back and just see what you would see. And then, I just thought that would be the fucking coolest thing. I really did.
I actually saw a picture today from Mars. I don't know how they took it. Like, I don't know how they took it, but it was a picture of it was a picture of the Earth from Mars.
Okay.
And it just shows you how insignificant Earth or we are. And there's this picture, and it's like the size of the top of a pen.
Yeah.
And somebody commented on it. That's how inconvenient we are. Yeah, I still have to go to work and pay my taxes.
That's funny. That's good.
But
cool.
I mean, it's pretty scary. Anyway,
Space
that's
is scary. Anyways.
That's a deep dive. That was a deep dive.
I've
got a couple of questions.
Okay. Yeah.
That I'd like you to answer.
Okay.
For somebody who's looking to get into real estate, maybe a young guy, 18, between the ages of 18 and 22. What's the number one piece of advice, or what piece of advice would you give them?
I love these difficult questions you ask. Okay. Well, let's see. How would I start? I suppose what I would advise someone to do, you have to be willing to take a massive risk. Obviously, right? That's sort of a cliche to a certain degree, but it is also somewhat serious. Because you have to be willing to make a massive change in your life to get ready to do something like this, because you don't get commission. Sorry, you don't get salary, right? You only make commission. Yeah. So you have to then go, I'm going to probably struggle, right? Everyone in the industry tells you this. You won't make your first sale for 1 to 2 years.
Wow.
Now, that's just the name of the game over here, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they say. Now, the reality is, if you're willing to learn and you're willing to find some sort of a mentor, if let's say you knock up at the Sotheby's office in Jacksonville, Florida, and you go, I'm looking for a job. Find someone who you can then gravitate towards and say, can you teach me? I will do anything I don't need the money right now. I need to learn. So you find that person and you'll have this experience, I'm sure, already, because you've been doing this longer than I have. And you'll probably, because of your success, you'll have people trying to do exactly that, saying, hey, Andy, I need some help because you have given me a template for success. And that's what books are about. That's what mentorship is about, there's a pathway that anybody in the world can follow. Yeah. That's been laid out, I don't even know how many times. I'm going to say 1 million times. Yeah. Because everybody that's done something, and it's not like don't get I don't want people to get confused. I'm not talking about making $1 billion a year. I'm talking about making enough to support yourself or your family if you have one, whatever. Yeah. You can do that. You're evidence of that. Yeah. Right? You've made enough to make yourself self-sustaining. You can invest your money in smart ways. That's my advice.
Yeah, no, and I think that's absolutely spot on. I think that I have a lot of people that follow my personal real estate page who are looking to get into real estate and want to be involved in real estate, but just don't really know how to go about doing that. And I think that, like you say, you need to be prepared, because a lot of people don't understand that you don't get paid a salary. You eat what you kill at the end of the day. You don't get paid until you make a sale. It's 100% commission. You don't have somebody telling you when to be in the office, when to leave. You don't have somebody telling you what to do, when to do it. You need to be, one, super disciplined, and two, super consistent, because it doesn't happen overnight. You could work your ass off trying to generate leads for 2 months and see nothing and give up. Sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it takes a year. People sometimes join the firm they want to work for 3 months, don't see any result, they leave. Guess what? The 4th month could have been the month it popped off.
100%.
You know, just being consistent will get you further than a lot of people, because if you're consistent over time, now whether that over time means 6 months or a year, if you're consistent for 6 months, you're going to beat people that were only consistent for 3 months. If you're consistent for a year, you're going to beat people who were only consistent for 6 months, and so on. The longer you're consistent, the more chance you have of beating these people, everyone else. Because at the end of the day, you need to see it like a competition. I mean, I would have targets written all over my office. I'd have thermometers written, and I would make sure that I was on track to hitting my targets. And I made sure that nobody else in the office was selling as much real estate as I was. That's the way that you need to be. You need to be meticulous in the way that you're doing things. One piece of advice that I would give is...
Please share. I'm super fucking motivated right now. Sorry.
One piece of advice that I would give to anyone who's maybe in real estate and struggling a bit is you need to learn your service. You need to get comfortable speaking in front of your customer, because even if you do join a real estate brokerage and you start to generate leads, say you've got 10 leads, if you're no good at selling your service, you're not going to convert any of those leads into new business. So what was the point in generating the leads? Far too many agents join and focus all their effort on lead generation. Yeah, okay, that's great, but if you can't sell your service to convert those leads, then you're never going to win any business.
No.
I would much rather spend my time when I first start crafting my pitch, learning my service, learning about my market, learning about my competitors, so that you know what you're talking about inside out when you're speaking to a customer. Then that means once you've done all that and you've learned all that, you've learned your unique selling points, all about your customer, your market, your area. When you then generate leads, you don't need to generate 10 leads, because the leads that you generate, if you only generate 3, you're going to convert 3. Or if you only generate 4, you're going to convert 3. Rather than generating 10, not being able to sell your service well, and not converting any of those leads into new business. It's unbelievable how many agents are like, how can I generate more leads? It's like, no, it's not about generating leads. It's about converting the leads that you are generating. Yeah, okay, you need to generate leads, but you don't need to generate more leads. Let me see what your hit rate is out of the leads that you're generating first before I tell you how to generate more leads. Yeah. There's no point in generating more leads for you to waste them, right?
No. And honestly, what you just said there is honestly something maybe we should do a future episode on, is, go into a little bit more of a deep dive on that and how to do that. Maybe we could give some examples on, some tools and tricks to give to people to say, hey, this is how you do this. Don't worry about the silly stuff, and there's tons of ways to get distracted on a daily basis. And if you're putting 90% of your day into lead generation, 10% into the other thing, it's no wonder why you might not make a sale.
Of course.
Well,
we kind of touched on it when we were on the phone. I think it was on Monday. Sometimes all it takes is a fresh pair of eyes to look in on your business and realise what you're doing wrong. I mean, if you're not making enough sales as you want to be making, why is that? We need to sit down and figure out why that is.
Yeah.
If you could think it's because you're not generating enough leads, but really, it might be that you're generating plenty of leads. You're just not converting the leads
Yeah.
into new business. Or it may be that you're spending too much money in areas that you shouldn't be spending too much money in. Or maybe you've got members of staff that you don't need. You know, sometimes it takes a fresh pair of eyes to look in on your business to see, you know what, you're wasting a hell of a lot of money on things that isn't generating you any money back. But I think that's a great place to start, is learn your service, learn how to handle yourself in front of your customer, and then generate as many leads as you want, because then you're prepared to actually convert those leads. It's there's no need in generating another 10 leads a month if you're not going to be any good at converting them. And that is where most agents go wrong. It's like, how can I generate more leads? I need more leads, I need more leads. No, what are you doing with the leads that you've got?
Do you think the sort of competitive drive, I just want to touch on something you brought up, was, you know, the sort of the driven spirit, the task, the goal setting, all of those things on a daily basis. You know, do you think that's tied to our sports background? Do you think that there's a big correlation there?
Massively. 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 I mean, if you've never been in that competitive environment before, I mean, we're fortunate. We've both played professional sports, so we know how that industry works, how that situation and atmosphere is.
Yeah.
For somebody that's maybe never played a sport, no, it doesn't have to be professional, because you don't have to be playing professional to be competitive. But for somebody that's never been in that environment, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of that type of person, because I've never been in that situation. But I would certainly dedicate a lot of the success that I got working in that industry to being an athlete, because that the discipline that professional sports teaches you is unparalleled. I mean, you can't learn that. You can't learn it. You need to go through that experience. You need to be in the trenches going through it in order to get the benefit from it, I suppose.
100%. And you know, when I'm thinking about that, I'm also thinking about, you know, an example of someone who never played professional sports, but is still maybe listening to this going, well, I didn't play professional sports. I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Well, you know, maybe you could use running. You could go running, right? Running is the cheapest exercise on the planet. It costs a pair of sneakers, and maybe even less if you go to a beach. Because you don't need anything, you just run on the sand. So, like, super inexpensive. But, you know, it also is massive on discipline, and you only see benefits right from the gym. You only see benefits from the gym 3-4 months later. You don't go to the gym for 10 minutes, and a week later you go, oh, I'm fucking jacked. No, you have to do 10 minutes every single day, as an example, 10 minutes every single day for months and months and months. And then you see the results at the end of the year, and you go, I'm in really good shape. And I think people might need to also think about other ways that they can discipline themselves outside of business, because business and work and your income is one thing, but you also, you know, for us, there's that lifestyle decision of, okay, we are professional athletes, we go to the gym, we eat right. But to be really good at business, you also have to live a really good lifestyle, or the best lifestyle that suits what you're also looking to achieve. You know, I mean, I don't know how often you go out, you know, for, you know, get on the drink and everything. I don't want to get into
Let's not talk
that,
about that. We both said that.
But, you know, like, it's great to go out with your buddies and have a good time. And, like, you always should do that and make time for it. But, like, Monday to Friday, like, what are you doing? How are you filling your time? You know, maybe you could just sort of speak on what you do during the week. You know, how do you prepare yourself to go into work as good as you can be on that day? Yeah,
I mean, it all starts off with, I mean, it's only recently that we've realised how important sleep is. It all starts off with a good sleep. I think I'm very routined as well. Like, I like to have a routine. I like structure, and I think that in itself is a discipline. But if you can create structure within your day, not just when you're at work, but making sure you go to bed at a certain time, making sure that you get up at a certain time,
Yeah.
every day. You know, the consistency of that. Making your bed every morning when you get up. Making sure that when you leave the
That's
house
a great
before
one,
you
by
go.
the way.
I mean, 100%.
That's so good for you to do. And
It's-
it
it's
seems so stupid to say, but it's so fucking good for you.
Honestly, I watched a video. It was a captain. He was in the Navy or something. I can't remember what he was in, but he talked about it. He's like, if you want to be great in life, start off by making your bed. And he talks about it's one small task completed that sets up
The whole
all
day.
the other tasks for the rest of the day.
Yep.
And it's the first thing I do when
it's also really
I get
good
up.
for your brain because when you complete something, you're happier. You're in a better mood. So
Of course.
it's the easiest win of the day. All you have to do is fucking make your bed and put your pillows up, and you go, I'm a fucking champion. And then you can
Yeah.
go and suck ass
And-
the rest of the day.
And if you have a shitty day at work, guess what? You come home and the bed is made. You know, but honestly, it starts off with just silly things like that. And now I read a great book called Atomic Habits.
I was about to guess.
which talks about the daily tasks that you do. I mean, you don't actually realize how big a role your daily tasks play in forming habits. Like
Yeah.
when you walk into a room and switch on a light, that's a habit. That's just a habit that you don't realize that you have. You walk into the room, you switch the light on. Now, when you get undressed after work, one thing I used to be bad for is I'd take my work clothes off and I would just lay them on the bed, on the made bed. But I would lay them on the bed. And then I'd put my gym stuff on, and then I'd go to the gym. And those clothes sitting on the bed, that used to be one of my bad habits before I read that book. Before I read that book, that was a bad habit of mine. I'd take my work clothes off, I'd lay them on the bed, I'd put my gym stuff on, I'd go to the gym, I'd then come home, I'd take my gym stuff off, go in the shower, whatever, and lay it back on top of the clothes I've already put on the bed. So there could be 2 outfits sitting on the bed before I get in it to go to bed.
Sure.
It wasn't until I read that book and I realised, like, shit, that's actually a bad habit that I've just got into. I mean, it's not like they're a mess. They're not all over the place. They're in a nice pile on the bed. But does that really need to be like that? It doesn't, no. So after I read that book, or after I read that section of the book, I'm like, shit, take these bottoms off, take these pants off, put them over the coat hanger and put them back. I'm now into the habit of doing that, and I don't do it. I don't even think about doing it anymore. But that book makes you so aware to the little things that you do on a daily basis, small tasks, whether it be like what I was doing, taking my clothes off and laying them on the bed, or whether it be not doing the dishes after you've eaten your tea. These are just little things. Once you get used to doing them, it becomes part of your life. Once it's a habit, you will do it. You don't even have to think about doing it. It then becomes like these bad habits that you've got. If you can turn them into good habits, it then becomes like walking into a room and switching a light on. You don't even think about it. You just do it. And honestly, I'm not joking. That book changed the way that I look at daily tasks. It really, really did. And again, it all feeds back to that discipline aspect. Into if you can be disciplined, if you can be disciplined throughout your daily tasks during the day, it's going to improve your work when you're at work.
Of course it is.
And everything improves. It's unbelievable. That book, if you haven't read that book, have you read that book?
I have.
You
It
have.
was
So
actually for a project in college. They said, you're going to read this book. And I was like, okay. It was for physical education. It was what did you say in our first physical exercise or something?
Exercise science.
Exercise science. That was what the class was called.
Yeah.
Anyhow, sorry.
If somebody hasn't read that book, you need to read it. I mean, it changes the way that you look at daily tasks. It's just discipline. It teaches you discipline.
Yeah.
Just do what you say you're going to do it, and do it when you're going to do it. And again, for somebody who maybe hasn't played sports or isn't really in that competitive environment, it starts off with discipline. If you can train yourself to be disciplined with small tasks, it's going to then relay when you're doing larger tasks, like when you're at your work. Like when, say for example, you want to grow your personal brand and you want to jump in front of the camera and make a video. Yeah, okay, nobody wants to jump in front of the camera and make a video, but guess what? To grow your personal brand, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to do it, and if you want to be successful, it's something you're going to have to get used to doing. So it's the discipline of saying you're going to do something and following through and actually doing it. And it starts off with the little things and then feeds into the big things.
Yeah, agreed. That's fantastic. Well said. I love that. I also love when we've read the same books and we don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
always
you've
fantastic.
read Never Split the Difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another huge one.
I have it on my phone. I just listen to it a lot. I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things when you're in the car, especially because I have to drive up to work. So, sometimes I'll forget something or, I'm like, oh, I just want to kind of relearn that section of the book or
Of
try
course,
something different today or,
Yeah.
What
other
he's got
books
some
would
great
you-
videos, by the way.
He does.
I love those. Those are really, really good.
So are you signed up to his newsletter? Because his group's
Black
called the Black
Swan.
Swan Group, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of his content is amazing. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It really is.
What other books would you recommend that our audience listen to?
Wow. Psychology of Money. Understanding
No,
Money.
I've never read that. I've actually heard some really great things about that book, but I've never read it.
For when I read, I like reading about human psychology or, books about not necessarily self-help, but in that realm, like David Goggins, right? He's got some fantastic books.
Mm-hmm.
And he is such a driven, powerful guy. So you can't help but feel some sort of inspiration and optimism after just even watching a 10-second clip on YouTube about him.
Yeah.
But when you read about him and his story and who he was, he's kind of he was a nobody, like the true nobody. I mean, he was spraying for cockroaches in restaurants and stores and homes. And then to turn his life around the way he did and go into, I forget what the places are called in America where you go and sign up to become a Navy SEAL or whatever. And they go, you need to be able to lose X amount of weight and be able to run this many miles in one go. And it's almost like a switch flicked off in this guy's head. And I think if someone figured out how to bottle that up, they would be the wealthiest person ever. But back to books, I guess. So there was a book that I read not that long ago. It was called Surrounded by Idiots, which was a fantastic read, and it basically gives you a kind of a play-by-play on everyone's personal characteristics, and it segments them into colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. And everybody is either a mixture of two or three, or some people are just like one. One color variations of people are quite rare, but they do happen. The most rare of all is being a combination of all of them. And so like red people are dominant and bullish and very forceful, kind of like our boss, to be honest.
Yeah. What we would call that a driver, right?
Yeah, but a driver for business and innovation. And when everybody else might be stuck, the red characteristics go, I fucking got it. And then they just send you on the direction.
Yeah.
And books like that are so helpful for sales and business, right? And you'll know that because what we do is psychological. It's building trust, how to read the person, and then you know how to react to them.
Of course, yeah. So one thing actually that your dad taught me when I started working here is that there's different personality types. Now, obviously, I knew there was different personality types, but we broke down each individual person. So you got 4 personality types. You got driver, expressive, amiable, analytical. So you got 4 different personality types. Now, most people, like you kind of said about the book, most people are a mix between the two personality types. Maybe strong in one and weak in another. And your dad kind of taught me how to get speaking to somebody, analyse their personality type, and then how to sell to that personality type as well.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a driver doesn't want to listen to facts and figures. You know, they'll make up their own mind. They've got their own opinion. They'll make up their own mind. They want to be straight to the point. They don't want to hear any bullshit. Whereas if you're talking to somebody who's analytical, you need to go into every nook and cranny, every little detail, every figure involved, because that's how they make their mind up. And that's how you need to learn to sell. You need to learn how to break down that person's personality type. I mean, at the end of the day, not everyone's the same. So why would you take the same sales process to everyone you meet? You need to learn how to break down the personality type, cater to that personality type, and sell to that personality type, and you're going to skyrocket your sales, because everyone's different. Everyone's different. For anyone in any sales job, I would say that would be a great thing to learn, is personality types and how to sell to each individual personality type. That's maybe something we can break down in a later episode as well.
That's a really good idea. That's a note right there. Just saying.
It is.
That's a fucking good one. Because that would also that's really helpful for people to know, and that's something that they can then take away and then also try to apply. Because the best way to kind of implement stuff like that is to just talk to fucking strangers, or do it with your friends. Try to figure out who your friends are first. Go hang out with them and be like, driver, analytical, amicable.
That's exactly what I did. I'd never heard of any of these personality types before I started working with your dad. And he's like, and now whenever I meet somebody, I can't help but say in my head, analytical, expressive, driver. I can't help but say that when I in my head when I start speaking to somebody. But it's crucial. It's crucial. Another thing that we can maybe talk about is question-based selling as well. That's something I know I'd never really done before.
That's a good one.
Finding out why. What is this person's why? Why are they here?
Yeah.
And the first answer is never the real answer. The answer to the real question is 3 questions away. Once you're 3, it's like, I think of it as peeling back layers on an onion. Once you ask them the first question, you're only back past 1 layer. And what you tend to find when you start question-based selling is you'll get answers out of the potential prospect or buyer that they didn't even know that they wanted. I could be selling to a husband and wife and ask them a question and then dig deeper, ask them another one, dig deeper, ask them another one, and before you know it, the wife said something and the husband said, "Oh, I didn't realise that's what you wanted," because they've not even discussed that, but you've managed to get it out them because you know how to ask the right questions. Selling isn't about talking, it's about listening, asking the right questions and listening. And if you can ask the right questions and listen, and then ask the right questions again, and so on, and keep doing that process, you're going to sell, regardless of what industry you're selling in, you're going to sell a hell of a lot more question-based selling than you are trying to spitball sales pitches at
sales speech. There's a ton of salesy speech out there, and I've seen some stuff on YouTube. I've seen there's one guy who he goes over emails and stuff like that, and he likes to edit them and critique them, but rarely do I ever see anybody just asking a blanket question, why are you interested in X? That's the first question that I typically ask any client first thing, to try to peel back the first layer is, why are you interested in Orlando? Why are you interested in Miami?
Yeah.
What's got you thinking about purchasing in Orlando? Where are you coming from?
What's changed in your life?
What's your first initial thought out of your head? And then we can start from there, and then we can start to really dive deep into that. Because I get it all the time. It's like, I've been there a couple times and I like it. Oh, okay.
Well, tell me more. Why did you like it?
Why did you enjoy it? Where did you stay?
What
about staying there was good?
I mean, your average salesperson would say, "Oh, okay, great, you love it. Well, let's show you some property." No, dig deeper. Why do you love it? What was it that made you love it? What happened that's made you inquire and want to potentially come back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
these are. I mean, obviously, as you and I are learning, these are sort of the foundation for us, and hopefully people pick up on it, and hopefully people can take it away and try to do it themselves, and then let us know if it actually does work. it could be a crock of shit. I don't know, but it seems to work. Where the fuck did you go? Oh, okay. Sorry.
My AirPods
Okay,
just died.
I was just like, did he just quit on me?
Am I back? Can you see me?
Yeah.
And can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my AirPods died.
Okay.
So yeah, that was good. That was interesting. But we should we'll definitely let's cover the personality types, question based, and we should maybe do a podcast all about sales, different sales techniques that we use, different personality types, different questions, different discovery processes that you can go through to find out information. What questions do you ask? In what situation do you ask them? How do you sell to a driver? How do you sell to an analytical? We should go through all this because it's definitely stuff that if you're in sales, whether it be real estate sales, tech sales, fucking book sales, I don't care. If you can find out more information or know how to extract the information from the person that you're trying to sell to, you're going to sell more of whatever you're selling.
Always.
Definitely. So let's
take
take note. I've taken note. So we'll definitely go over that. I think it would be quite fun to do a segment where you say the first thing that comes to your mind when I say a word or a sentence. So, would you want to do rapid fire, or do you want to go with that?
Let's do the second one.
Okay. Oh, shit. I'm quite nervous, actually.
So am I.
In this segment, you are going to say the first word that comes to your mind when I say a word. Okay?
Wait, can I wear a costume for this skit?
Yeah, if you want. I mean, you've lost it.
Time out.
Okay.
No, just fucking right there.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Bucket hat, sunglasses. Florida's back, baby. You know who you look like? Have you ever watched Kevin and Perry Go Large?
Who the fuck are they?
Go and Google Kevin and Perry. You look like them.
I just Google them real fast. Kevin and Perry?
Kevin and Perry Go Large. Google that.
Go large. Oh, fuck off. That is shocking.
Yeah. So I'm just going to call you Kevin from now on, right?
Okay, deal.
So Kevin.
Yes, Andy.
Right. First word that comes to mind when I say the word that I say. And it's got to be quick. This is rapid fire format. We need speed here. Okay?
I'm the definition of quick.
Okay. Marriage.
Cool.
Breakfast.
Eggs.
Clock.
Time.
Gift.
Fun.
Friends.
No.
Tin. No. Tin.
Okay. Tin?
Tin.
Like a can?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my answer.
Candy.
Tasty.
Bathtub.
Bubbles.
Why did you take longer to answer that one?
I don't know. Take
Sleep.
off the sunglasses. They look fucking ridiculous.
Sleep.
Energy.
That's all I got. Energy.
Okay. I bombed that segment. All right. Can I do you?
Of course. I mean, that sounded a lot funnier than my head than what it actually was, I think.
Okay. I think I found something that's interesting. So, can we try this? I mean, we can always just fucking edit this out, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. When I click on a different tab, can you still see me?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Andy. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Nice. Say a word in Spanish.
But I don't actually like ice cream.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I don't like ice cream, so... And it's too cold in Scotland for ice cream.
That's
Sorry,
very true.
carry on.
Say a word in Spanish.
Hola.
Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
Favorite number?
42.
Who has it easier, men or women?
Men.
Fair. Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Yeah. Not sandals, sliders.
That's fine. You're an athlete. Name a primate besides monkeys and apes.
Andy. I don't even know what a primate is.
I wouldn't know. I think orangutan also qualifies.
Okay, chimpanzee probably.
So, Andy. Is there... Oh, no, I read that wrong. What's the best age?
18.
Yeah.
In Scotland, maybe in America, 21. But 18, you're raring to go. You're going to get in nightclubs. You can start drinking. It's just like, you feel like you can take on the world, right?
Yeah. Say, good day, mate, in an Australian accent.
Oh my, I'm so bad at accents.
Do you want me to embarrass myself?
Good day, mate.
Nice. That was fucking good, dude. If I was with you, I would have fucking high-fived you.
Let me hear you. Let's go.
G'day, mate.
Yeah, it's alright. You know what? You fucking look Australian with that hat on.
I look like Kevin from Australia.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Maybe put the hat back on.
All right. We're good.
We're good. That was fun. That
was something. I feel like the rapid fire needs a little work.
Yeah, without a doubt. We got to work on the rapid, I think.
Yeah, we're not very quick.
Anyway, I'm going to need to wrap up pretty quick because I've got a dinner at 7:30.
Closing.
However,
statements.
so questions that we got last week. I did get a question, or we did get a question. Let me just pull it up, and we'll go through. Well, we got a couple of questions, but this was probably the question that we can talk about the most, I would say. We answered some earlier on when it comes to investing in property. So anyway, somebody has messaged the page and said, keen to know more on fees, how to increase them / business strategy, in brackets, volume, medium level stock, high end, higher fee, less deals. Now, I think what they're referring to is, we touched on in the last episode, or I touched on the Scottish property market and being an estate agent and targeting higher value properties. Now, if you target lower end properties at 50 grand, chances are you're charging a fixed fee, something like 1,250 quid. Mm-hmm. You split that with your brokerage, you maybe get 60% of that. If you target higher value homes, you're going to get a percentage. So standard percentage is 1%. Now, I used to target higher value homes. One of the things that I did was up to about 350 grand, I would stick to 1%. Anything between 350 and 500, I would come down to 0.8%. Anything over, I'd probably push that up to maybe 800,000. Anything over about 800,000, I would come down to 0.7%. About $1 million, it would be about, the lowest I would go was 0.7%. But what this does is, you're still competitive, because up at that price bracket, you're going to get some agencies throwing out stupid fees, as in 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. If you stick to your 1% and don't have any give, then the seller could be pissed off potentially. If you come down by 0.3%, you're still making a lot of money, because 0.7% on a sale at $1 million is still way better than a fixed fee of 1,250 quid. So it's all about finding the balance between not discounting your services too much where you then come across as desperate, but you want to keep them at a decent price where you're still going to make a decent bit of money. And I think it's just managing that expectation with the seller that you're dealing with. At the end of the day, I used to leave valuations and say, look, anything we've talked about today, if you've got any issues, anything can be negotiated. Now, you're not saying, I'm going to discount my services to try and get your business, but you're leaving it open. You know, I would sometimes even say, this is the fee, but we can negotiate that at a later stage if we need to. And what you often find is that you leave the door open for them to negotiate it, but they don't come back and negotiate the fee. But it then means that if they then get another estate agent round after you've been in, and their fee is 0.8% and yours is 1%, they're not closing the door on you because you've said, look, if you want to negotiate the fee or if you need to negotiate the fee, then we can do so. So that was how I used to go about charging fees and getting into the higher value properties, and it worked well for me. Callum, have you got anything to add to that in terms of strategy or?
Well, it's something that is recently changed in the States.
Yeah.
There's a change in the laws, and I think maybe we'll save this for the next episode. Maybe do a little bit of a deep dive on what the laws mean for buyers and sellers. And also, it'd be great to learn from you and how you've taken client A who just knocked on the door to closing and finalizing that brokerage buyer agreement.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of just starting to prepare myself. How do I present our services, not sell myself too short, and then also be able to make my money?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line, right? In the UK
It's
as well,
very,
of course,
very fine.
you only deal with sellers, generally speaking, in the UK. So, I mean, I have never represented a buyer. I've sold close to 400 houses, and I've never represented a buyer. It's all been sellers. So, it's all reputation as well. If you've got a strong reputation in your area and people know you as the property expert, I mean, my whole goal when I was selling properties in Dundee was, when somebody's thinking about selling a home in Dundee, I want them to think Andy. That's how I want them to think. And you do that by growing your brand, being all over the place, videos on social media, getting for sale boards up, word of mouth, giving a good service, all these types of things that come together to grow your business. And with good word of mouth, you can then get away with maybe charging slightly higher fees. But when you're first starting, especially, I mean, people used to say to me, oh, never discount your fee because then you're known as the discount agent. Well, guess what? If it means me getting the business, then I'm going to fucking discount my fee because I want the business. Yeah, okay, it's not ideal, but the difference between me charging 1% and 0.8%, you're talking maybe a couple of £100 in some deals. I'm willing to lose a couple of £100 to get £1,000. I'm happy to do that. And too many people are fixated on I need to charge the same fee or I need to charge 1%. Bullshit. If it means getting another house on the market, you're then dealing with more viewers who, guess what? These viewers who are coming to view that property you've put on, they might potentially have a property to sell as well. So it's access not just to that house that you're selling, but also the potential business to come from the viewers who are viewing that house that you're selling. So it's definitely better to go for volume, get for sale boards up. If you need to cut your fee by 0.2%, cut it by 0.2%. In my opinion, that's the advice I would give. Some people may be of a different opinion, but for me, I wanted the business. I wanted the for sale boards up. I wanted the word of mouth. I wanted to be giving people good service. I wanted people to have good things to say about me. So that's the approach I took. It may not be the right approach, but it worked for me, certainly. So that would be the advice that I would give. I
think it's great advice. And I would probably back that up all day because, look, at the end of the day, you want business, you want people coming through the door, promoting you as well, becoming sort of evangelists of Andy Henderson.
Of course.
Look at all what he's done for me. He took me from A to Z, and I have the house that I wanted, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And is it worth say, hey, I need to stick out for 1%? No, just say, let's negotiate, let's get the business, let's move on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think that's good. Callum, any final words before we head off?
I'm really sorry about the hat thing.
I think we got to sharpen up the fancy dress for next week.
I'm thinking changing that. Other than that, I'm super excited that we're able to do episode number 2. Talk about some really interesting things today.
Yeah.
So this will be great, and I'm looking forward to our next time together.
Fantastic. Callum, it's been a pleasure as always, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Take it easy, bud.
See you, bud.